Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace. In last episode, we did a very long investigation for this episode 5. Okay, Ace. This episode, we're gonna head into the trial former, even though I don't know what it means, but hopefully I figure it out, so let's start. February 23rd, 9:34 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. How did my investigation go, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is rather one big gray area. Don't worry about me. No matter what the outcome, I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes, a defense attorney should never believe in their client. The defendant is called to the trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia, but there's one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. First trial without Faye helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. No Maya, no Mia. I'll be alone in there, so I have to discover the truth all by myself. This is gonna be tough. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you all the way. February 23rd, 10 a.m. District Court Number 9. Number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. Me and Edgeworth are facing off again. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been into a courtroom since his trial. Von Karma. I hope that personal feelings will not be part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was no witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough of Queen. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered a caviar lunch, right? Oh ho, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. Oh, and for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks? Would a witness state her name and profession? You, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It's too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please, before I get very angry. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty, it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me, the name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I found myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry the fuck up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Oh, what exactly does that mean? Till 2 years ago, Mr. Angel Star was a special investigator with police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Mrs. Starr was a detective?
Oh ho! I know who you are. Cough up.
Cough up, Queen, Angel Starr. Your Honor, long time no see.
Very well, you may continue with the description, Miss Starr.
Is the judge already a simp? For fuck's sakes. Just who is this lady? I might add to the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B blocks for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks.
I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's space, yes?
The crime took place in the car in the back of an A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
It was me, Your Honor. Parking lot with Edward's car.
Witness, do you see the very moment the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Very well, Mr. Wright.
I can't agree on your principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give us your worst, Miss Starr.
Christ, Judge! Wait, are they talking about me? Judge is simping from day 2 trial, by the way. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunch box to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was finally home detective's intuition at work. The fuck? Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Jesus, this image is scary. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching.
As you can see, there's no room for doubt.
The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well.
Mr. Wright, you may examine the witness.
Somehow I knew a day like this would come. How did you know? I respect the prosecutors that abhor the horrors of crime, yet their methods are too ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. I have no argument against that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I was became an investigator. If I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well, you may continue, Miss Starr.
I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. This boyfriend, he's the detective. Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend, you have several?
Is she a slut? The fuck? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to
to think before replying.
Security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime? I sensed something. It was perhaps finally home detective's intuition at work. You sensed something? You're saying you had premonition of the murder? It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means.
Speaking of detective intuition, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also the detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
A young cheese?
Pale white cheese, not yet tangy experience on the streets. A greenhorn.
Then I must be hard, yellow, sharp as a tack.
Yeah, with the color odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there was something I felt something stir in the back of my mind. The wire I saw the prosecutor standing next to a garage car. By garage car, you mean? Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth's?
Incidentally, the knife which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it?
Indeed, it was. What an odd case this is. And a person you saw, you are sure was the defendant?
I saw her no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. She's telling the truth, then we're doomed. Let's just do what we can, even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than words, ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh, rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I heard that tagline elsewhere. Could you cry with plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post-millennium, but my instincts are honed. What?
A photograph? You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes was rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than hanging around your neck.
Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? Why wasn't this mentioned in the investigation?
You think I show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again.
I'm starting to hate this woman already.
My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Sky. Something is wrong here. I want to check something. She has gloves on, which would cover up fingerprints. Why is she wearing the bloody coat? Wait a second. Something feels off. If you stabbed him, wouldn't you self get blood on your own clothes? Which I don't understand. Wait, yeah, this was in the A block shows over here too. Okay.
So what was the defendant doing at this time?
Chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. I say the blade was about 4 inches long. Mr. Edgeworth, it is your knife after all.
Ahem. Yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the locations of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify to her ability to kill an egg. I mean a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would be a better metaphor?
So the defendant was holding a knife. What then?
And she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no?
The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes, by the next moment, Chief Prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Mr. Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's keep our heads in cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. I think we have to show evidence. We can't, like, you know... So I'm wondering right now, let me check something real quick. If we're gonna present evidence, let's check this photo. Yeah, there's something wrong. This photo seems very suspicious. So I'm gonna present this. I wanna see what info we can get out of the people talking. Objection! And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife? As I've already stated, yes. I swear I'd find this on my salmon spoiled lunch.
I'm sure that is a fine lunch.
But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took the very moment at the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife?
Ahem. Sir Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Objection. Yet, it was still stronger than your feeble mind, Mr. Wright.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. It was taken the moment after the stabbing. Objection! And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the darkest crimson stains on the Chief Prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph.
Oh, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problems here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? I objection! Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, she took the picture in the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was a cold calculating like a robot. She could, without pain or remorse, it was a premeditated murder. Objection! Premeditated? How did you know? Look at the Chief Prosecutor's hands in that photograph.
Well, are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of him rubber. Then rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? It was not premeditated. She would not be wearing those gloves.
These gloves do seem to tell premeditation.
Premeditated murder, a serious offense.
Witness, add to your testimony.
The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, of course, of the kind they use for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Urgh!
Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Star.
This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I gotta think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. He said that before anything else. Scientifically speaking, Miss Star's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal, okay. Okay. Alright, we're gonna... I guess we have... Oops. Alright, let's go back to her statement. Murder was planned. Rubber gloves proved it. Are we gonna say it's the knife? I feel like this is the only evidence I can give out, but I don't know what... Yeah, there's no traces of the... There's traces of the blood, of course. No prints, though. I know he's wearing gloves to hide the prints, but like... I don't know what this... Why do I have to present this? Like, this is the only evidence that really stands out of all the other things I've seen. Oh, so you really want me to look at the autopsy report or something and hand that in, which I doubt that's going to be something. Objection! Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell lunchboxes for a living. You know, that's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edwards' trunk. Indeed, that is my knife.
What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, it all belonging to the prosecutor there.
Friend is the chief, alright, mommy? Are prosecutors bad people? Shut up. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Yeah, like why would you get it out of Edward's trunk? This knife would just happen to be the trunk of that car. Oops. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Yeah. Order, order, order! Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now, but you know you as well as I did. She planned on killing him. It was planned. It wasn't why she would have been wearing.
I believe you'd like to hear your testimony again.
Witness, please tell us what you saw and not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Angel seduction. Lana Skies intended to murder a Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way out to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure Chief Prosecutor has a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge that knife in again and again.
The victim summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. Doesn't sound like a premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Lana Sky intended to murder Detective Goodman. You said that, but you told us how you know. Haven't told us. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie.
I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she is about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again.
Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of an oven half-baked. Something half-baked here, alright? And it's you. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not quick on their feet. Why don't you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. You have no proof Miss Sky called him there. You have no proof that she didn't.
Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts?
There is no record of a call made on the defense and Miss Lana Sky's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on, you could have tried a public phone first, at least. In any case, the victims came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered.
I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness? What do you think the suspect who summoned the victim that day?
I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. What? What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here now. What's inside? How am I supposed to know that? See, we agreed there's a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree?
I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty.
This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Can you tell us what basis for thinking this? It's simple. Nothing else can drive that human machine to plunge that knife in again and again. A human machine? That's a contradiction.
Objection!
Please. Can't you find it fault that something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self. Mr. Edgeworth's eyes are like citrus fruit. You say again and again. How many times did you stab him exactly? You have to say chop him to 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What's the difference does it make if the deed is done? How come she's getting mad at me?
Just say she stabbed him
Okay, that is a big flaw.
several times and leave it at that.
Leave it at that. This is a murder case, people. Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know. Stars turned out to be short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. The shirt burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size on the candle? I mean, more wax and really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientists testing is required. Okay, there's a one contradiction I can easily point out. Because we can check the autopsy report. One single stab wound. If it said multiple times, I wouldn't show this, but that clearly contradicts what you're saying.
Objection!
You say she stabbed him again and again. You couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid that moss is growing under our feet as we wait Miss Star.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Yeah, because the victim could be alive from that 1 hour 30-minute time frame.
Oh-ho! You're right, good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk, he's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness?
You got the crime scene set, right? Why does it have ketchup with a knife in the middle? I mean, a fork?
Oh, thanks.
Always be that no one can be mistake ketchup for blood. Now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. I would like to see that. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify.
Her muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Red muffler. Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck, so it can be easily hanged at the moment's notice, I suppose. She's right. Yeah, that thing on around that neck. This guy was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? Wait. Isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood?
Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib.
A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I do think I saw traces of blood on her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There's only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. As for what, I wonder? Okay. Challenging our abilities to really set a Alright. So, it must be our last statement. But... let me check the photo again. Wait! She doesn't have it around her neck! What's going on here? Objection! Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. Edgeworth knows! Damn, we're just double teaming her. Edgeworth's like, are you stupid, lady? I'm looking at this evidence right here. How do you not see this? What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life.
Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? Is no one gonna care that I'm the defense? No. Nobody cares about me, Pepe Hens. But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really. Well, now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What?
Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake off the most important part of her testimony. The most important part. The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might be just a moment of truth. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her and explained her rights to arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's when she had me confused in my earlier test. You're just making this up. The chief prosecutor had made it to escape against Angel Star. Resistance is futile.
You're quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. And that's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra's kind of a snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. Unless you want to get bitten, you wench.
No thanks.
Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside and kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will.
And murder weapon suspect attempted to ram a hard partition off to her side. So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure this means a wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there. About 6 feet. Do you think she's trying to call someone? With that phone? She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do.
And what did you do then?
We caught up to her and rights to her and arrested her on the spot. You say quickly, were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details. How far away was she when she witnessed the murder? Guess I could look at the picture to find out. Very well, you may continue with your testimony. You know, he's got a point. How far away was she when she took that photo? Was she right here? The question, she did mention she was in... Maybe I'm just like overthinking it. She mentioned she was in B, but she took the photo over there. Wait. Took the photo. Wait, let's go back a bit. Let me see the photo again. Okay. I question, how did you get there? Yeah, that's the problem I have with this. Okay, she took the photo through the fence. Yeah, over here. Okay, it was over here. Obviously. But how would you get to there? How would you go over to the other side? Unless you drove around and like caught her through the other side. Like, this is a blocked fence. Unless there was some kind of hole there. Ah yes, when I asked her, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard was the word muffler.
Just that one word?
So what you have heard wasn't suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Ah, yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Phone. She can't mean... This guy's cell phone. Last number she called was her sister Emma. If I press this too hard, who knows who the snake will bite. The witness may continue with her testimony. I guess I'm the only one that knows that she was the one that called Emma. That's what had me confused my earlier testimony. So you never saw this muffler?
Witness?
As the photograph proves, you couldn't have seen it. That's true. Miss Star is acting strangely. First she mistakes a scarf for blood splatter. Now she says she didn't see any scarf. She doesn't strike me as the kind of witness to make careless mistakes either. So what did Miss Star see in that parking lot? Chief prosecutor made to escape the Angel Star. The resistance futile. She made to escape? Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pail to a foie gras. Huh? She even kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum?
There was an oil drum lying at the side of the crime scene. Scene of the crime.
That's strange.
What's that?
If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way?
Oh. You mean the parking lot entrance?
That's right. It doesn't make sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent, more mysteries. I wish you could further subterfuge before finding more though. So Miss Sky tried to run? Sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. She didn't do it. You have to believe me. Alright. I want to be very sure. Because we're going to be pressing a statement. 30 feet. It doesn't look like this photo was taken 30 feet. I like to see the floor plans just to be safe. Lunchline car was over here. She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? How come she couldn't see you? That's the question.
I would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes?
Is that correct, Miss Star? Yes, that's right. There's a chain link
But there was a chain link in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing. Cough of Queen, Lunchley athlete indeed.
Did she really... Wait. Can you really go over that? She would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. She couldn't have gone into my sister's that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high. Yeah. Plus, you would be making a lot of noise, too. Did she use the car? She climbed over this car, probably. So how did Miss Sky not get away? We have to press further on this statement. Yeah, about the phone she mentioned. Yeah, her phone. By phone, do you mean the cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately.
Ultimately.
My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
No, the court doesn't see, Mr. Star.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall?
That would make a lot of sense. That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order.
So she used her cell phone.
Indeed. The emergency phone was out of order that day.
Good witnessing, witness.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
The things I do please this rookie defense attorney. Word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. We didn't mention she was calling Emma, so... do you think you could restate your testimony for the court?
Oh, I was going to ask the same thing.
I'll only say this one thing, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall. It was out of order. She pulled up her own cell phone out of her own pocket. How would you go? No. You wouldn't be able to climb up there. Are we just gonna assume she climbed up the fence? During that
time you climb over the chain link fence?
Then I boldly grabbed her arm. The chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this. What is it, Mr. Wright? Okay. Let me see here. She made to escape me, be more specific, brush my hand, blah blah blah. Yeah, they mentioned the parking lot entry. Something is up right now. Wait! Whoa, 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 whoa! This is a contradiction right now. This is a huge contradiction. There's a partition here. You said you saw her using the telephone. How can you be so sure within the partition? I mean, you would automatically assumed she would use the phone, but she could have went to the security room. Honestly, you would never know she would. You can never know if she was going to the security room or the telephone. So that is very suspicious. I'm gonna present this. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unarmed by personal bias. Who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You know, together with the chief prosecutor kicked me out 2 years ago. Oh. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, no, no, no. We're not going with that. We are not going with that. Mess with me. I'll make you cough it all up. Ahem. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed a crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If you indeed were in D block, you couldn't have seen it. What?
Order! Order! What is the meaning of this?
Huh? What happened, Jared? You like when I say order? It's because the judge always says order. Order in the court, order. Okay, sorry guys. I'm talking to my brother. It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. Grr. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me to question? Tell us exactly what lie this witness had told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about what she saw? Order of the events. Where she saw it? This makes a lot of sense. Miss tried to use the was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it.
Pointless to lie, I see.
I say the witness did actually see Miss Sky use... But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using an emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? That's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness where she saw the crime?
All the testimony you heard now points in one direction. Place where Miss Starr could have witnessed the crime. Wait a second. Wait a second. Now I'm confused. How could she... Okay, where could you have witnessed the crime and then witness her use the telephone? So it can't be here. If it is here, you won't be able to get a good angle. It's okay. Hypothetically, where did you get this picture? Maybe there's a security camera over here? That would make a lot of sense. And she took a picture of it. And you saw her using the telephone. Maybe another security camera was nearby, but we didn't see any security cameras, so I'm not sure. Maybe the security room has something.
Take that!
This is the only place where she could have been.
The security guard room.
Indeed, the security room is underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor. You could see the entire lot.
She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places she could have seen the phone.
Not in this case, Your Honor. The witnesses not being part of the prosecutor's office couldn't park in A block. The witness where she could seen the crime, and the backup partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr? Oh! She has contact with the security guard room men in the security guard room. How many years have I been getting the better of men? Damn men! I think the tables could have been turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Star.
Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective, you should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty. She talked about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. Why does she have to complicate things further? It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands.
Objection!
It still stands. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. Alright, give her the death sentence. She's lying. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
So what was her reason, Mr. Wright?
Huh? Me?
Who else?
Alright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? Angle of view to the crime? That wouldn't matter. Difference in light. Why would that matter? Distance to the crime. Maybe try that. Changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime.
Objection!
My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plan is quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see.
Objection!
What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you were asking Miss Sky?
Well, witness?
You. Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. Ew. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with my fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend?
He was in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. There was a backside there. I did not see that part. I didn't think about that. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. What? No way. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking lot beep. I did not see this part right here. I didn't thought that was irrelevant.
That's quite a detour. That was a long-ass detour.
Probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
But 5 minutes?
All within a span of 5 minutes.
This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Christ, this judge is simping. For fuck's sakes.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this?
I will object. Maybe I won't be punished.
Objection!
5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest? Think about it. You could have made pasta in that amount of time. If you like it al dente.
The fuck? What does that have to do?
I got lunch boxes that tie pastas into knots, rookie. This 5-minute blank, isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I flee the scene? Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
We're not exposing you, Judge. You have the instincts of a killer. You would run. This time was different. Miss Sondado at the scene of the crime. She even had her photo taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable.
Well then, seems like we come to the end of this testimony. Witness has a grudge against the defendant, but blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgewood is the next witness ready to go.
Unfortunately, I appear I have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close.
I'm afraid the cough-up queen has been dethroned, and with that, the court is adjourned.
Hold it. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered squid wheels, right? Oh, come on! You're telling me he's getting squid wheels too? That's the one she tried to foist off on me. I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else left to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that?
Is this another one of her trick lunch boxes?
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple deck!
Christ! Judge! Can you stop sucking? Can you stop sucking the client's D for 1 second? Please. Please stop being a simp. It's getting very annoying. Please.
Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony.
You goddamn simp, Judge.
Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? Decisive evidence. I should have mentioned the 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? You never brought this up! 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant Lisana's Sky. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was a blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive needs.
Objection!
Witness, what is the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard about this evidence? Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. Why are you holding evidence? This should be known to the court. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know that 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, the shoe is illegal evidence. At least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edward sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edward. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, the shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was already approved by the police department as of today. By who? Even the general public can't produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Ugh! Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty solid. He at least studies evidence law, really.
Prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this affidavit satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. So, you're saying there's traces of blood from Goodman and Lana's sky?
Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the...
Hold up, let me check one thing. Gotta be sure. Okay. We gotta check here. Oh, there's blood on the victim's shoe. Ah, there's blood here too. On the sole of the shoe, it's gotta be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. All this blood, it's horrible. This blood might be an important clue. I'm trying to think right now. Why would the... Was there any blood on the floor of the crime scene? And where did this blood come from? You notice the blood would splatter on top of the shoe, but why on the bottom of the shoe? Okay, let's go back. Alright, let's cross-examine. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I was looking at the crime scene.
Hold it!
Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This is when the suspect is admitting she did it?
But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Mr. Star. Let's just get this over with.
Now to the victim shoe. Did I not bring this up? No! You found this shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make sure myself useful. I was waiting for the police to arrive. So like an ill-trained pooch to snuff off with a shoe. Persuade someone to erase the chief prosecutor's crime. So this shoe was my secret weapon, if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here. Let me check the shoe again. Motherfucking shoe, the victim's shoe. I want to believe this is forged evidence. I don't know. Carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really?
In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next.
2 types of blood on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. So you brought it to the forensics department. You're gonna submit something as evidence in court, you need to prove. To that end, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. She got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective.
The shoe does appear to be bloodstains on it.
Well, The man was stabbed after all. And that blood found to the victim, Detective Goodman? As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. Match the defendant, Mrs. Lana Sky. You can't say for sure that the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Huh? Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from blood tests whether your murder was committed in cold blood.
That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means we can more or less narrow any sample of blood just to one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten a DNA test results. They said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe?
That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. The shoe proves its flawless decisive evidence. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. He ordered the peppered fish guts, right?
Ew, that's disgusting.
Something like it hot, Mr. Wright. Like your clients, using enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, don't you have a problem with this shoe? Problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with this victim's shoe? There's a problem. If I'm not imagining it, I say there's one critical problem with this evidence. It's a clear contradiction. A gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I gave you a peppered fish gut right now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Shows the problem with this evidence.
Right here, Your Honor.
Take that!
I wonder if you notice. There's blood on the bottom of the shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be blood on your bottom of my shoe. Please no.
Indeed, there's quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
Makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly contradict you of the blood on the bottom of the shoe? So we saw the. I know we mentioned the crime scene and all. Wait a second. I know blood was on the coat, but why would it be on the back of the shoe? That makes no sense. And there's no blood on the floor of the crime when we checked out the crime scene investigation.
Take that!
The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why aren't there any bloody footprints by the scene of the crime? Oh-ho! As you can see, there are no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor. There could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edward? Because we checked the scene of the crime, we found nothing of the sort.
Order! 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 Well, witness?
What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. We only have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh.
That's true, there has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to her testimony.
What are you talking about?
Think back to what she said. She told us about apprehending the suspect. Chief Prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside and kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. Predator, this one. A leper woman, rawr. Thought that was a strange thing for a normal, cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask you a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Wait. No. No. I'm not thinking what I'm thinking. Is it really blood on the shoe? Oh, that. I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. What? Water? What does that mean?
Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know why the reason when she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean...
Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would have become evidence against him.
What?
Seriously?
That ties things up quite nicely. Blood stains on the left on the victim's shoes ties her quite clearly to this murder.
Seriously? The oil drum was filled with water just to clean up the crime scene. But where was the water? Did it just dry up?
And after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum and erased the telltale signs.
Why specifically? Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, this guy right hand was hurt. Did she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got in the shoe?
Well, I see no reason to prolong this drum.
Mr. Wright, do something, please. What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But...
Enough. There is only no need for further debate.
The verdict, Your Honor.
Very well.
But Angel Star's on the prosecutor's side. She couldn't have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant in this honest sky.
Hold it! Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say I, Miss Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Oh, that kinda triggered her. Well, yeah, you are. You're seeing my sister hid evidence by erasing bloody footprints. Well... Thought you had your fill, but you are here demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox called evidence. Fuck? That's a disgusting lunchbox.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else.
The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments, you'll be held in contempt in court. Your threats don't scare the cough of Queen. Look at this. What the fuck? What? What? Another photograph? Why didn't you present this? Why didn't you present this?
We held this evidence for this trial, sir.
New evidence, in fact. I had just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. The fuck?
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait. That's fault in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet.
Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder's crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And seeing that this is what your sister wanted anyway. Mia's not here to help us. Mia! I'm sorry, Mia. Right, wet or not? Don't be so quick to throw in. Wait, Mia? But where's Maya? Get yourself off that asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up until the bitter end. It's the last piece of evidence.
Well, this time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait.
What is with you people? Can I hand out my verdicts in peace anymore? No? Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's no problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I got to go ahead with this.
I suppose we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show us the court the problem in this photograph.
I don't see anything that is strange. There's a knife. Victim. What's this?
Take that!
The problem is, in this photograph, is here. What's this? Wait a second. What is that? There's something poking out of the car's muffler.
Wait a moment, Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor.
You just said muffler. However, I still no traceable muffler or scarf or any kind in this photograph.
A muffler is also part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe.
I see, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does this have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Objection!
Ah, my arm. I'm sorry, Miss Starr. It's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind.
Tell us why you think this piece of cloth is related to this case. Why is the muffler important? The word muffler. What? This call at 5:18. Why was the word muffler mentioned?
Take that!
Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh, woo!
Well, it seems you will have to suspend proceedings.
Suspend?
I've been finding myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do have a disservice to the law. Have the car at the scene at the crime scene inspected at once. Bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed?
I suppose so. Phew, that was close. But we made it. At least, for now.
This court will adjourn a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all.
You still hungry? Christ, how many lunch boxes are you eating? So we're continuing this trial? So let me save up to this point. Let me see. What progress are we up to now? We're still in the trial... Oh, trial ladder? Okay. So yeah, next time on Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, we're gonna do the next part of the Day 2 trial. This is something I've never expected, but I guess so. I guess I'll see you guys all next time.